Well, this week we've got hype, controversy, and knowledge nuggets, all that and more. So we'll get right into it. Just a reminder first, all of the resources that I mentioned today will be linked in the video description right below the video. You'll also find the links in the comments section a little bit further down the page below this video. Let's get started. Well, today we have an update. About a month ago, we mentioned that Instagram featured a post from Flexcut Tools. In that post, Flexcut gave a sneak peek of a new Pro series of knives that were in development but weren't yet available for sale. Now they are. And we have more details about the knives for you. So, back then we knew that there were 3 knives that were in a photo. And they had some details about the length of the blades and the newly designed handles. Now we know that the blades are made from 1095 steel. They are flat grind blades, which are a favorite among many whittlers, and we know that the wood for the handles is cherry wood and it's unvarnished. So on their website you can now order these brand new knives, and we also have information about the cost of those knives. So let's go over that. The 1 3/8 detail knife is selling for $35.95, and I should say these are US prices. The 1 5/8 carving knife is $36.95, the 2-inch roughing knife, $36.95, and then the 1-inch chip carving knife is the most expensive at $37.95. Now they also have packaged some of these knives so you can buy a set. They have a set with 2 knives and there's another set with 3. It really depends on what you need. So I'll have a link to the Flexcut website for you where you can go and look at these brand new Pro Series knives. And then when you click on one of the pictures of a knife, you'll see an option to click on the spec sheet. And when you do, you find a spec sheet, and I've got a photo for you so you can see what's included in the spec sheet. More details for you, basically. Now, I did see a post recently from Alex Joyner. Alex has a connection with the Flexcut brand, so he's kind of in the know. He said that although these knives are available here in the US right now, Flexcut indicated that they won't be available for international shipping for about another 2 months. So if you're overseas, you may have to wait. In Canada, I don't know. You may be able to get them now. So what do you think about these new knives? Have you ordered one already? And what do you think about an unvarnished handle? Is that something you would like to have, or would you put a finish on it once you got the knife? Let me know. Leave a comment down below the video and share your thoughts. Well, the new video over at the International Association of Woodcarvers features a discussion with Mike Bloomquist. Mike is a carver from upstate New York, and in the video he shares information about he brings his carvings to life through a process called automata or automata. I've heard it both ways. Anyway, it's an interesting discussion, and he shows you how he accomplishes the crank and gear system that helps his carvings become animated. I also want to mention that just the other day, Blake Lunsford, who kind of runs that show, posted an upcoming schedule so we know what is on the calendar for the coming month. So let's take a look. So on September 7th, Barry Bowers will be the guest. September 14th, Blake is going to be at the Caricature Carvers of America show, and I'm thinking he's going to record something there. On September 21st, Dave Stetson will be doing a demo. October 5th, Ashton Brown from Badger State Blades will be making an appearance. That'll be, I think, her 2nd time on the show. And then October 12th, David Young will be doing a presentation. So check out the new video that's out with Mike Bloomquist, and then stay tuned for the next show coming up on September 7th. Well, over at my cousin Jack Carves YouTube channel, I've posted a brand new tutorial. And in this video, I started with a 1-inch square block of wood, and it was 2 1/4 inches tall. And I carved a little Frankenstein gnome. This is the guy, this little guy right here. And in this tutorial, I'm going to show you how you can carve one just like it. This is a beginner-friendly, step-by-step process. And in part 1, I show you the roughing process, getting all the measurements onto your wood and then going ahead and roughing out the shape. And then in part 2, we add the details. That includes the hair, the mustache, beard, and so on. So I think this is a fun, friendly, quick, and easy carving project, and it's just in time for Halloween. And you know, gnomes are big-time sellers, so if you have a Etsy shop or somewhere else where you're selling carvings, you might want to try a little Frankenstein gnome. And share a picture, I'd love to see it. So many of you may be familiar with Doughty's YouTube channel, where he has many carving videos, but did you know that he also has a website and a blog? It's outwestgallery.com. Well, the other day, Lynn posted a brand new blog post, and it's maybe a little controversial. So Lynn said he's been receiving a lot of questions lately about what paints he uses and where people can buy them. So he decided to post an article and share his thoughts about acrylic craft paints. So the controversy in this case would be that Lynn more or less says in his article that the brands are all the same. It doesn't make any difference what brand you get. He said the difference really is the price that you're willing to pay. And there are some brands that are more expensive, that's for sure. Now, Lynn also in the article mentioned his frustrations when one of the colors that he likes to use has been renamed, making it difficult to find, or when it's been discontinued altogether. And that does happen. So he also kind of gave a little hint in a post that I saw. He said, look, if you think this opinion is controversial, wait until you hear my opinion about boiled linseed oil. I think I know his opinion there. Anyway, you know, I do tend to agree with Lynn about the brands of craft paints. I have several brands that I've used, and I have not noticed any difference. What about you? Do you stick to one particular brand of craft paints? Or have you noticed a difference between different brands? Leave a comment below the video here and share your thoughts. Well, there's a little more controversy to discuss this week, and it involves Doug Linker. You know, Doug posted a video not long ago where he provided a tutorial on carving little blueberry heads with faces on them, and he was wearing a carving glove. Now, apparently somebody made a comment suggesting that Doug was wearing a glove because he probably cut his hand and he was hiding the cut from his viewers. Well, Doug has a brand new video where he's carving a pumpkin-headed figure, a little man with his hands in his pockets. And Doug decides to set them straight. He has a glove on and he removes the glove. He shows his hand. He has no cuts on his hand. And then he says the reason that he's now wearing a glove is to set a good example for others. So there you go. Now, the new video is a tutorial, and he's showing you how to carve a little pumpkin-headed man from a 1x1 block of wood. And Doug takes you through the steps. It's a pretty nice little Halloween sort of a figure to carve. Interesting though, Doug carved this tutorial inside of his brand new camper van. And the lighting is probably not quite as good as what he has in his workshop at home, but altogether it looks pretty nice. So you can get through this carving video in, I think it was 48 minutes long. And as usual, Doug does a great job. It's a knife-only carving project, and like I said, if you're looking for a Halloween tutorial, it's a good one. Over at Against the Grain Chip Carving, Damon has a brand new video, and he's telling you why some of the wide-angle triangle cuts don't come out the way you want them to. This is a 5-minute knowledge nugget, and Damon does a really nice job of explaining all of the angles on making these triangle cuts and how it's all about the geometry. He starts out by showing you the wrong way to make one of these triangle chip cuts and what happens when you do that. And then he offers up 2 different solutions on how you could be more successful and have cleaner cuts when you're making a triangle cut. Altogether, like I said, it's 5 minutes, and it's well worth the time because this video is effective, to the point, pun intended, and enjoyable to watch. There's a new blog post over at Whittled Lovelies. And this time around, Sarah is taking us on a trip. It's a journey to explore the Nigellus Trail. That's a brand new attraction that's opened in the Piedmont region of Italy. And in the article, Sarah gives you lots of details about the region. And she also points out that there's a really stunning forest there along the trail. And the valleys there are just beautiful right below the Italian Alps. It sounds wonderful. And I'd love to see it. In fact, I did. Because Sarah also included a link to a video that she made about the Nigellus Trail, where you can see some of these old growth trees, and you'll also see some of the wood carvings that have been installed along the trail. So, take a minute and go over to the Whittled Lovelies website, check out the blog. You'll find lots of content, including this brand new post from Sarah. Well, folks, I want to thank you for joining me this week. Always a pleasure to have you. Thanks for all the support and all the subscribers. Really happy with the growth of the channel, and I really sincerely thank you. See you next week.